HMRC, I mean, I don't think they've done very many favours for many people over time. The story this morning about them is that they've lost up to 100,000 taxpayers' records to organised criminals in a sort of cyber attack last year. Nobody's really quite sure exactly what information they've got or how much of this information could have been stopped from being given out. But what a terrible story. Imagine that. Paul lost his stepdaughter. She was killed in a car crash. I mean, surely they must be better at sort of joining up whatever government records there are.
I mean, there must be some system there that can deal with that stuff. I mean, it happens every day. People are dealing with these terrible situations, and I just can't believe that, you know, in the 21st century you still have terrible situations like that arising.
I know, absolutely dreadful. Just one more story on Keir Starmer before we move on to Harry and Meghan. Apparently Madame Tussauds have said that they will not be currently making a waxwork of Keir Starmer. I thought when I read the story at first they were going to say, because obviously we can't improve on the waxwork that he is already. But in fact it turns out that because they're not sure about how relevant he's going to be in the future, i.e. they don't think he's going to be around very long.
Can you imagine being Keir Starmer reading that in the paper? He gets up in the morning, a little bit happy, this drags you right down to reality.
Those are, their words are, and of course Downing Street, with absolutely no sense of humour whatsoever, when asked about this, said, clearly this is a matter for Madame Tussauds.
I mean,
why wouldn't you make a joke of it?
I think Madame Tussauds should make one, so when he goes away, the waxwork can stand in at PMQs, because it'll make just as much of an impact as he does.
And just put one of those sort of, you know, robotic voices in it with a speaker. Let's talk about Harry and Meghan, because big piece in The Sun this morning. There's a little bit on the front pages as well. And this is Sussexes cringe while they invade their own privacy again. And this is the Sussexes last night blasted for invading their own privacy after releasing a video of them twerking to induce labour. This is when, of course, Meghan was pregnant. So it's quite an old video, but she's posted the cringy hospital dance footage to celebrate daughter Lilibet's 4th birthday. Let's have a look at it.
Baby mama, this shot's been pregnant for way too long. I tell the DJ turn it off.
If she your baby mama, she gon' do that baby mama.
Work.
She gon' put it on you. She gon' do that baby mama. Drop it down, drop it down low. Drop it down, drop it down low. Drop it down low. Do the baby mama when I step out on the top. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, hit the baby mama when I'm stepping through the door. Yeah, I'm pregnant, but I got a heel flow. Trying to make some money.
I mean, by all means, record something like that. Keep it to yourselves. Have a bit of a fun look at it once a year. Show it to your daughter when she's old enough to enjoy it. But why publish it? Why post it? Particularly when they're always banging on about their privacy.
It's not often I'm lost for words here, but, you know, if you had told me a few years ago that the King's daughter-in-law would be heavily pregnant, would be twerking in front of him, showing it to the world, I said you've been into the source too early this morning.
It's
absolutely
very weird,
absolutely astonishing. You know, Charles de Gaulle said prestige cannot survive without mystery. Well, there's not much mystery left.
No.
After this, I have to say.
Well, remember
but the thing is, you know, this was released for Lilibet's, her daughter's 4th birthday, one of several videos. But, you know, they were always so keen to make their children's lives away from the public. They didn't want to have the media intruding, and here they are forcing us to basically endure their birth there. And what on earth Prince Harry was up to with his sort of dad dance there.
Yeah, dad dance, pretty awful, yeah, absolutely.
As South Park said, you know, our worldwide privacy tour continues.
Yes, yeah. We want our privacy. Remember to bring that back. Just to go back to the migrants for a change. Stop dinghies at sea, no mercy, it says in page 6 of The Sun. It's too dangerous to arrest people in the shallow waters of the English Channel, apparently, or the Sleeve, as they like to call it. Basically, the French police have said, contrary to what Keir Starmer promised, that they will not be wading into the shallow waters of Normandy. They will not be arresting the migrants before they try to get on boats to come here. So that whole, once again, another lie from Keir Starmer, saying that the French police are going to start doing something which they've never done.
Well, so this is the problem here. You know, Belgium does this. So Belgium basically goes into the water and stops the boats once they're in the water. And so you don't get dinghy crossings coming from Belgium. Right. France, for some reason, has a different interpretation of maritime law. And the problem with the French is it's the unions. The unions, again, as usual, say, no, it's a risk to life and safety. Yeah. Actually, the French government are trying to force the unions to cave in on this. Remember, there's a state visit coming up. Macron is coming over to the UK, and they want to actually have something here. So the French government seem to be actually taking this money now that we're paying, and finally they've agreed to have these new boats to go 6 new patrol boats, 46 metres long, to actually go in up to 300 metres into the sea and actually stop the dinghies. This is actually good news. If the unions can be forced to actually do it, that's the problem here.
Yeah.
So actually, this is slightly a good news story, something I've called on for a long time. Get these ships that are 300 metres into the sea.
If they're going to do it.
If they can do it.
But there's no real incentive, apart from the fact that we're giving them bucket loads of money, like about £500 million. I mean, apart from the money, there's no incentive for the French to do it, because they don't really want to keep these guys. They're more than happy. Don't forget, there was a French politician, I think, this week, who said that as far as the migrants are concerned, Britain is El Dorado, you know, because they see, you know, the glimmering white cliffs of Dover, and they just see money, benefits, you know, we can stay there, we can live there, we can start a life there, we can get a house, we can bring our parents with us, we can bring our families with us, and I'm sure that's how they see us.
Well, it's the heydel-mankoo motto. The heydel-mankoo motto is make Britain less attractive than France.
Yeah.
That's the way. Forget smashing the gangs, empty the migrant hotels, put them into temporary refugee camps till they can be processed and deported, crack down on the underground economy. The French are very good at that. We get them over here, they disappear into curry houses, they become delivery drivers.
Shops.
Yeah, you know, you order something on Deliveroo, it says Mohammed is coming, there's a picture, somebody else entirely delivers the food, right? And the rogue landlords who have 10 people staying in one house, no background checks. These are the ways you stop people coming. You reduce the incentives, you cut the benefits. And if they're on a windswept refugee camp in the middle of the Orkneys or somewhere like that, it won't be long before the message gets out that Britain's not the ideal place to come. Stay in France, stay in Germany, stay anywhere.
Exactly right. Talking of staying where you are, the blockade of Gaza is about to be witness to Greta Thunberg. We did this at the beginning of the week. She's been on this boat which set sail, I think, from Sicily, and it's on its way to Gaza. Apparently she and a bunch of other virtue signalling lefties are going to free the siege of Gaza. They can, as somebody said, they're on a relatively small boat. They're probably bringing enough food for about 12 people, which they say they're going to distribute. The Israelis, on the other hand, are saying if they get any closer, we're going to board the vessel and repel it. And the last time this happened, I'm afraid, the IDF killed 9 people on another boat that came in because a sort of battle ensued between them and these idiots. And I mean, obviously, climate change is not good enough any longer for Greta Thunberg. She now needs to free Palestine.
Yeah, the level of narcissism here. This is all about. Look, I'm Joan of Arc for the modern world.
Yeah, right.
Look at me saving everyone. You could just imagine the idea of approaching her, and she said, "How dare you? How dare you?" You know, it's one thing for Just Stop Oil and Greta Thunberg to go up against the Metropolitan Police with all their rainbow lanyards. It's another thing to go against the Israeli Defence Force.
It is.
I think they're going to be in for quite a rude awakening if they expect to be given a cup of tea and taken away with a blanket around them.
It's suddenly wake-up time, you know. And they were complaining that on their way sort of past the Hellenic Isles, they saw a drone above them, which they thought was going to be some kind of attack drone from the Israelis. It turned out to be the Greek Coast Guard that was just simply monitoring them. You know, they're so naive, these people. The idea that they think that this is a great idea, and the picture of the other people around her just shows you how ridiculous the whole idea is. It's just that, you know, spokesman for the group says that, you know, they want to raise international awareness of the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip.
Because
nobody's mentioning it at all, are
exactly.
they? I mean, you don't get Sky every 5 minutes telling you that, you know, the Israelis were shot dead another, you know, 21 people, which it turns out they haven't. I've got this from somebody who has no sense of humour, calls himself Anon. Mike, you said you can only have a night's fun by drinking, and if not, you'd rather be dead. That's not what I said, actually. He says, I'm 25 years sober, and along with many other thousands of recovering alcoholics and addicts, I take offence, and I'll bet you won't read this out. Well, all you're doing, Anon, is showing how, having given up drinking, you have lost your sense of humour, and you're not very able to actually enjoy other people's opinions. So I'm very sorry, mate, for you. I'm glad you're 25 years sober, but, you know, you probably would have been happier if you hadn't been an alcoholic in the first place. I don't know. All I'm saying is, you know, if you don't think that I can have some fun by having a drink, and you don't want me to, and you take offence at it, I'm very sorry for you.
I'll drink to that.
Thank you very much indeed. Rafe, heydel-mankoo, crack open the Jack Daniels.